moral of the story: enjoy your 20s, mature in your 30s, and find you a best friend.
So I am on a vomit-free since 23. And we're going to stick by that.
I have access to Sam's calendar, and on Friday she was sucking a dick.
Rise and shine, ladies. You're tuned in to Skirts Up with Samantha and Melissa. We got your daily dose of hope and humor while we discuss everything from failing to succeeding and all the spiciness in between.
What's up, Skirts Up Squad? It's Samantha.
And Melissa.
We're back again, and I did use squad.
I know. I'm liking that. I'm really liking it. So yeah, you guys don't have a choice. You're the squad.
But I like it. Now
I do
we're like
too.
talking with y'all.
We're talking to and with, and yeah, it's conversation
Not
more.
to.
You're right, not to. I hate being talked to.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Melissa, I was on the phone with you for a fail.
Yeah, you
What
were.
was that? Because it was
Okay.
funny.
Okay, so the other day so my husband and I share a car, and I took Brett to work, and I stopped by the Starbucks by his shop, or by his work, I mean, and got myself a Starbucks. And then I was on the phone talking to you in between as I was driving back to work. But I accidentally auto drove to the other Starbucks on the other side of town by my job. And so I was like, why am I here at Starbucks again? I literally have a drink. And it was just because I must go too often. That's embarrassing.
It's addicting.
Oh my God.
I do have a Starbucks story. It's not my fail, but it just happened today, and it's really fucking hilarious. Was going to go pick up our shirts that are in, and I stopped at Starbucks on my way to go get them, and it's really early in the morning. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning. No one's there. I pull in a Starbucks, and there's like this kid at the window, and his mouth is just like hung open. And he
Oh.
goes, "Your dad let you drive this?" And I just stared at him. I was like, "Yeah, my daddy's real nice."
What? Like he thought you were
Yeah, like,
a child?
I guess so. Like a teenager with my dad's car. And I was like, yeah, my daddy's real nice.
That's hilarious. You're like, I got this daddy. He's a sugar daddy.
It was so funny.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome though. I was just saying to Brett how I feel like my whole life I hated how young I looked. And that okay, so when I was 19 and my roommate's boyfriend used to call me his 7-year-old girlfriend because he thought I just looked so little, like a little child all the time, and I hated it. And then I feel like I aged like overnight.
Is that how it happens? Because I'm seeing bags under my eyes and I'm like, what is this?
I don't know. For me, okay, I think you still have time. Save yourself. I was working at the barn all the time, and I was outside in the sun, and I wasn't wearing sunscreen like I should have. And that was when I started getting sunspots. And then I feel like the wrinkles happened when I got married to my first husband. So we're going to blame those on him.
Men.
But anyway, yeah. So enjoy looking young while you are young.
Sunscreen. I need to get on it.
Do it. Sunscreen,
Oh,
yes.
man. It's really embarrassing, and I may or may not have cried for hours for no reason. But like, you know how I worked in the pet industry for a long time?
Yeah.
I was a vet tech and a practice manager. So I know how to have pets and how to take care of them. And so I get the baby to bed and wake it up with her every night and morning. And so Simon and Thing One, they get the puppies up in the morning and to bed at night, and they haven't been taking off the training collar that we use, and I didn't really know because they do it. And then last night I was putting the puppies to bed, and so I went to go take off their collars, and I realized that one of the puppies has like a puncture, and I think it's from the collar.
Oh,
And I was like,
honey.
why is this here? And it's infected. And Simon was like, well, sometimes we don't take it off. And I was like, you have to take it off.
Oh,
And I was so upset.
no.
I was like, I have done this my whole life. Why are my pets injured? Like, I know better.
Well, it's not your fault. Like you really thought it was being taken care of.
Yeah. And so I have no idea how long she's had these punctures. And so now they're not wearing any collars, and I'm putting antibiotic creams on it, and we'll see what happens. But now they were supposed to get spayed and neutered this week. And so now I'm going to push that back because there's an infection. So I'm not going to have a surgery. So
Right. I am so sorry to hear that.
yeah, I was so upset. And
I'm
then
so
Simon was
sad.
like, you realize like that's not your fault. Like, why are you upset? And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like I failed.
I hate that. What did Melissa Walker say in this last episode? Take responsibility for your shit and not other people's shit.
Shit happens, and now I'm supposed to just fix it and move on.
So, hey, what do we got today? Because I'm actually super, super excited.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
we had your bestie last week, and now we have my bestie.
Yay.
It's Courtney. Courtney's with us. Courtney, say hi. Oh, no, Courtney, there's no sound, homie.
I'm going to say it again. Courtney's in the house.
Okay. All right. So Courtney's my bestie. And you've heard me talk about her all the time. And any story they have, they usually have her in it.
What do you want our listeners to know about you?
I am 30. It's been a long road to get to 30. So a lot of people don't want to be 30, but I am happy to be 30.
Together.
Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah. And maturing.
Have we?
We have.
I agree. I'm kidding.
Courtney, can we share one of your birthday like smash cake pictures?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. So tell us why, when you say it's been a hard road to get to 30 and you're glad to be here, do you mean physically?
More mentally, some physically. Health-wise, I'm pretty healthy. Growing up, I went to probably 20-something different schools from kindergarten to graduating high school.
Oh.
And then in 9th grade, I started hanging out with a crew of people who were in their 20s, and I was 14 and was subjected to making a lot of poor life choices that now as an adult looking back could have easily landed me in jail, dead, lots of things just from being influenced by grown adults at 14 years old.
Grown men.
It's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I look back and I just am grateful to be where I'm at. I've made a lot of questionable choices. I don't regret a lot of them. I learned from most of them.
I love that.
And they made me who I am. So
That's what we're all about.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
here I am.
I love that because it's true. Like, we were just saying that in the 23andMe episode, I think. Like, what would we be better off if we had a different life path? I don't know if any of us would. I kind of think.
Yeah. Now being a mother to a daughter and a son, I think that I have experiences that are going to help me parent them in a way that they won't necessarily have to go through what I went through to learn my lessons.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Now, I feel like sometimes that is a double-edged sword where sometimes we try to overcompensate to make sure that they don't make the same mistakes that we make.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, at least in my opinion, with teenagers, thinking of myself as a teenager, there's nothing I can do that's going to prevent her from making decisions that she's going to make or he's going to make. But I can tell them my life stories and hope that if I explain to them, these are the decisions that I made and these are the outcomes that have affected me to this day, it will steer them in the right direction. I want to be their internal dialogue when they're trying to make the decision for themselves.
Would you tell her your experience with a guy that has affected you your whole life? Like, would you be open and honest with her as a teenager and tell her that experience? Or
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And can I just ask what experience?
Yeah, no, and you don't have. My mom now fully knows the story. So when I was 14, basically I got involved with this kid in my neighborhood who was actually in middle school. So he was in 8th grade, I was in 9th grade. And then started hanging out with them, smoking weed a ton, drinking a ton. And this 23, 24-year-old man at the time would hang out with us too. And then the next thing I know, he's taking my weekly allowance money that my mom was giving me and buying weed with it, and then telling me that he loved me and that we were in a relationship. And I had never even really done anything physically with anyone at that point. Like, I may have kissed a boy and that was about it. And he convinced me to do everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he convinced me to do all the things. And then once that happened, like the next day he told everyone. So I went to school and people had heard about it and they're coming up to me and they're asking me and I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it. Like it's so awkward.
Wow, that's awful.
Yeah, and it wasn't some big memorable thing that happened. It's just like I didn't want to do it. But
Oh
when you have
no.
someone tell, telling you, I love you so much, and if you love me, that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely tell Ava because at that age, luckily she has like some male figures in her life that are pretty good. So hopefully that will help. But I'm thinking that my like lack of having like a strong male figure. I love my
Mm-hmm.
mom to death, don't get me wrong, but probably played a role in like I just want a guy to love me and this guy says
Mhm.
he loves me and so I believe him and I'm doing whatever he tells me to do. And at 14, you're so, at least for me, I was so insecure. So if
Mm-hmm.
anyone was giving me like positive attention, I was going to gravitate towards it. So I definitely think I'll talk to her about it and honestly be very open to her about it because adult men take advantage of teenage girls.
I
It
mean,
is
Mm-hmm.
it
just a fact.
sounds,
Yeah, no, for
correct
sure.
me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like we're talking about a very non-consent. How can you consent when you're 14?
Exactly. I think that's kind of the point is that it's not consent.
It's
As an
not.
adult, a 14-year-old cannot make that
Yeah.
decision with an adult. Like that's just not a thing.
Right. And to this day, so, I mean, several years later, I was with my mom and we saw him on the side of the road riding a
That's
little
when we lived
bicycle.
together.
Yep.
You and
Oh, wow. Okay.
20, when we lived together, we were, yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, 26. So then, about a year ago, maybe a year and a half, he tried to add me on Snapchat. So I'm like, we're talking, I'm 30.
Yeah. He's 40 now.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's just, that's wild to me.
I feel
But
like
it still bothers
he,
me.
of
Yeah.
course it does. I feel like he's looking for something that he
I wonder if it's like a guilt, like looking to see if there's like a way to like
Oh,
connect and like
that's a nicer thought
I
than I
don't,
had. I was
so I don't
imagining
think
him.
so.
Yeah, I was imagining him just not being in a place of growth and just trying to go back and relive old memories.
Oh, it can definitely go either way. But I'm wondering if like maybe for some reason he found some Jesus and
Yeah, he
Can only
actually
hope.
we broke up or whatever and then I moved to Alabama. So I was 15 at this point. And I guess 15 was just too old for him because then he started dating a girl who was a grade below me and the same high school. And I ran into her like years later and we just had this kind of like we're not friends, but we both know that each other went through the same thing and we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, "Yep." And just, it
Wow.
was like an understanding, yeah. So, yeah, he's a interesting character. I've seen his like TikToks and stuff. I'll have to send them to you. They're rather funny.
Okay.
His life has gone nowhere, and that does give me a little bit of petty happiness.
Yeah.
no, that's fair.
It
That
is
is fair.
fair.
So we met in high school, and how did that go, Court?
High school sort of together. We were both in our JROTC, and so there were not a lot of girls. So if there were, you definitely knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we did not like each other very much. We were in the same like circle of friends, but we never were friends because I don't know if it was gossip or what it was, but
She was
I
a
just thought
druggie.
Sam was. Yeah, and I was pretty sure Sam had slept with at least 100 people. Like, at least.
And Courtney just
Like,
did every
for
drug.
sure.
So
Like,
you
without
literally
a
were
doubt.
both just judging
Yeah.
each other. And that's why you didn't like each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well,
And she
'cause
was scary.
there was a rumor that like
Druggies are
yeah,
scary.
I was scared. That's true. It was in between the blow and the meth. I didn't have time to be nice.
So we were in high school together, didn't like each other. We graduate and part ways. Courtney goes to South Carolina for college.
North Carolina. My ex was in the Marines, so I went to North Carolina for college.
Okay.
And I stayed where we went to school. And when Courtney was moving back, she had like posted on Facebook, like, hey, are there any job openings? I'm moving back to Georgia. And I was like, yeah, I work at Jim and Nick's. We're hiring. And she like applied and got the job. And then
Then we became best friends. Everyone basically thought we were related. They were like, "Oh my
Oh,
God,
they
is she your
did.
sister?" Because we were together. so
All the
much that
time.
like we sounded the same. Yeah, like we talked very similarly because we had spent so much time together.
Oh yeah, we'd like
And
stay the night
then
together like all the time.
yeah, we just did a lot of like shenanigans together in the restaurant. I mean, we were both young, like
Oh,
working in a
under
restaurant.
21. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
and just partying all the time because it's the restaurant industry. Like you
Mhm.
work,
I
you
will
drink.
never let my kids work in a restaurant, FYI.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either.
I mean, the shit that we were doing underage, going to bars, these people would get us into bars. We were drinking all the time. We'd get invited to these parties and things that shouldn't be
Mhm,
happening were
mhm.
happening. And I mean, yeah, we just made dumb decisions, man.
Yes, so we have lots of things that we have done that we've matured.
There's for sure things that we've done that I think surprise us that we're still alive, like together. Like,
And I regret none of them, okay?
I mean, I regret like maybe like one or two of them.
All right, we're gonna play truth or dare real quick, and I want you both to choose truth, and I want to know
We're gonna not do that.
Truth or truth?
truth or truth.
Well, I'll tell my mom to tune out.
Don't listen to this one, mother.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we got really close. And then, like a few years after I had Ava, me and my ex-husband split up. Sam and the person she was with at the time, split up. And we were both like, what are we going to do? And so I was like, we're best friends, but we're very, very different people. We parent very differently.
Mhm.
I'm very like an explosive and Sam's very like anal. And as far as like organization and like
Right.
cleanliness goes, so living together, we knew it was going to be hard, but we survived. We lived together for a year.
Yeah. So
And
she
so,
was
yeah.
getting divorced. I was leaving Andrew. And we had a really hard time finding somewhere to go because like it was non-negotiable to bring Ada since she's a shepherd.
Oh, yeah.
So like that was really hard. Courtney has 2 cats and finding a place that was like big enough to like we went to some weird ass places and we're like, yeah, nah. And this like lady, she almost didn't even let us rent this house because she thought that we were together.
Oh, that's no, that's sad. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like clarified like 10 times. You guys are just friends, right? Just friends.
Mhm.
That's messed up.
Yeah, it was
But we
it was
didn't
bizarre.
care because we needed somewhere to live.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we were just like, nope, just friends. And then, we may or may not have slept in the same bed multiple nights, but anyways.
But yeah, so we survived a year. We only had a few big blow ups during the time where we like got in big fights.
Oh yeah,
but it
one
wasn't,
time Simon
all-
sent us to our own separate rooms and told us to stop talking to each other.
So funny. But yeah, so then we survived and we still stayed best friends, keep popping out more kids, but we're officially done popping out children.
We are. Yeah. So when we both left our significant others, we had this like, oh my God, I think we're both done. What are we going to do? And so we had this grand idea that like, of course, since we're done and we know we're done, like we need to go out and we need to think this through, and a vacation of just us is what we need.
Mhm.
So we
It was exactly what we needed.
It was exactly. So we go to Panama City together, just the two of us. And we booked this hotel. And at check-in, we were pissed. They were like charging us more money because we were 1 year, like we were 24 instead of 25.
Yeah.
And so they were charging us this like bullshit fee. That's what we called
The
it.
hotel?
And we just thought it was bullshit. Like, why?
Not even like a deposit? Like you get it back?
No, we had to pay.
That's bullshit.
No.
That's a bullshit fee.
And so we were pissed and we were like, well, if we were just 1 year older, I guess they would find us more credible.
We may or may not have almost burnt down the whole hotel, but
Twice.
it didn't burn down.
Twice.
You know those margarita pre-mix like buckets?
Yeah.
Okay, so we put it on the stove, and
Oh, no.
I guess the stove was on.
Somehow got
How the
on.
fuck we turned it on, I don't know.
Just like bumped it or
Yeah,
something.
we didn't even.
We didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't even cook. Did we cook outside? Anyway,
At
whatever.
that
So
point, we
turned it
hadn't
on.
used the stove yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Anyway, so we about burnt the whole. We came
We
back
went
from
out.
drinking.
We went
that
partying.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And came back to the tub melted over the burner and like,
Had a smoke alarm gone off even?
no. Yeah. And then the
No,
next
something
morning, I was like, hungover, like still pretty drunk. And I was like, we need bacon. We need to soak it up, right? And and so I put bacon on this rack, and then I put the rack in the oven. But I didn't put a drip pan, so I had the rack and I had the bacon on the rack, and I put it
fire. Got you. Oh, you just put the bacon straight on the oven rack without like a pan?
Yeah, pretty much.
Something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Courtney goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she caught it and she saved it.
Oh, good job, Courtney. Nice save.
Yeah.
Now we
Yeah. Between the two of us, we create one whole brain.
That's what we need to do sometimes, is just help each other.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like I have when you were describing yourself, Courtney, I was like, yeah, I feel like you and I are very similar. And that's how this is working with Sam for the podcast, because we're very opposite.
You and Courtney are very, very, very the same.
Are we?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as cool as you.
No. Oh, whatever. The day we went out to that like the live podcast thing that we went to, as I told Sam, I was like, I like Melissa.
I loved hanging out with you. I really liked you.
Yeah, same.
I'll take it.
I think that you have more deep thoughts than I do on a regular basis. But other than that,
that can be kind of disturbing sometimes.
All right. 2 drunk girls end up in a hospital.
Guess for real.
Guess for real? Okay. 2 drunk girls end up in. Yeah. Okay. You're taking someone else to the hospital.
Why?
I don't know. Like, okay, so maybe you're just like, okay, when I get drunk, sometimes I get a little bit like into my feelings and empathetic, and maybe you saw somebody and you stopped on the road to help someone you didn't know.
Oh, no.
Okay. That's my guess.
All right. Who do you want to tell this story?
Courtney. I want to hear from Courtney.
No, but my side of the story is better.
You both have a side.
But my side of the story... My side is the truth.
I knew she was going to say that. We're going to hear Courtney's side, and then you can put your defense out.
Fine.
Okay. So, another story on why my mom probably loves Sam very much. Okay. So, one of my exes that I won't name had gotten in a new relationship, and something had happened, and it made me really angry. And so at that moment, someone invited us to a Halloween party. And, I think anger plus alcohol is always good. So I went to the said Halloween party.
Can I just say what I was wearing? No, I wasn't a costume. I don't know what I was, but I put on knee-high, like, stiletto boots. And then I put my dagger in my face.
You were an assassin, I think. Right. I think you were an assassin. I'm pretty sure that's what. I was a cowgirl because I didn't have a costume, so I put on the shortest shorts I owned and like I don't know what shirt I was wearing, and a cowboy hat, and was like, this is it.
Yep.
And so we went to the Halloween party, and we're playing beer pong, and I was crushing it.
As always.
And then I wasn't. Yeah, but then I wasn't crushing it anymore. I was like, oh,
you were crushing the floor.
Yeah, I was crushing the ground. So then the little context, I physically cannot throw up. So if I get alcohol poisoning or anything like that, I just start dry heaving.
Oh, and so, I forgot. You told me that once.
Yeah. So I was a little past drunk, and I went to the bathroom because sometimes stomach acid will come up. And I was like, so I went to the bathroom and I like got by the toilet because stomach acid was coming up a little bit, and I like didn't want to make a mess. And then I went to a little sleepy sleep on the floor by the toilet. And the next thing I know, I hear like people talking, but I can't quite respond to them. And then I hear some girl saying, well, I'm a paramedic in training and you need to call an ambulance. And I was like, no, I don't. But no one, like, I don't know if I wasn't actually speaking or what, but I didn't want the ambulance. Well, then I passed out again. And the next thing I know, I'm on a gurney. I'm being ushered to an ambulance. And then I'm coherent at this point. And I'm talking to the paramedic. And I say to her, I was like, no, really, I'm okay. She was, well, you're already going to the hospital. I said, all right.
You're in the ambulance.
I got to ride shotgun. And they took my dagger.
They took, I didn't know they took your dagger. I hear Sam, like, crying, somebody needs to call her mom. And I was like, they're like, she's dying. And I was like, I'm not dying, I'm talking. I was like, I'm literally speaking words right
And
now.
I'm
Do
in
not
this
call my
ambulance
mom.
against my will.
Yes. And so she does not hear any of this. She calls my mom. I mean, I'm a grown adult, legal age of drinking here. I'm in the ambulance. My mom has been called, who can't drive at night to see.
This is
So now
so
it's like 2 or 3
humiliating.
in the morning. I'm in the ambulance. Oh, it gets better. The woman puts the IV in my arm. And I look and I'm just amazed at this paramedic. I mean, we're in a moving vehicle and you put a needle like first try right in my vein. And I told her, I was like, good
Nicely
job.
done.
Yeah,
And
Courtney's
she
not an
looked
easy
at
stick.
me and I was like, I'm just really impressed. I was like, we're moving and you put an IV in me. And she was like, looks at me like the death stare.
Weird.
Like, shut the hell up, you drunk woman. And then she was like, you're the most sober drunk person I've ever brought to the hospital. And I said, well, maybe you should tell my friend that just called my mom. So at this point, I've had so many IVs, fluids in me that I'm like sober as sober could
You're
be.
feeling good.
I get to the hospital. Yeah, I get to the hospital. Sam, on the other hand, they didn't give her any IVs. So she's in the hospital.
I'm crying.
My mom's now in an Uber on the way there.
Oh no.
Sam's sitting next to me, and Sam sees this man come in, a nurse, and then the nurse leaves, and Sam's like, I think I know him. And I was like, no, you do not know him. And she's like, I think I do. And she starts screaming, Dan!
Rob.
Dan! Or what?
Rob.
Rob. Yeah.
I thought it was someone I worked with's husband who works in a hospital.
So she's screaming this man's name. She doesn't know this man. Then my mom comes up. She gets there. She looks at me. I'm like chilling. She looks at Sam. She's like, maybe she should be in the bed. And I was like, you think? And then me and Sam are like, don't know what to do because we can't get home. The people are like, we're going to discharge you and y'all can leave. You know, a fun fact is that I never had to pay for that ambulance ride.
Really?
They charged my insurance, but like I never got a bill. I never got a bill for it.
Nice.
Sweet.
So yeah. So hey, worked out. But yeah, so that's my story of getting drunk and Sam putting me in an ambulance.
I'm glad I haven't had an ambulance called on me every time I passed out. Actually, I haven't passed out that many times. That's hilarious.
Oh man.
I would like to say me too, but the bushes have been my friend on many, many occasions. But like I said, we're 30, we're thriving. I've not once slept in a bush this year. Thank you.
Good for you. Good for you.
So,
no, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh
So we have now since both gotten married to very great, sane humans, as sane as they can be, I'll say, because, we're not sane. So,
well, they deal with me. He deals with me. So.
Yeah, and mine. So they can put up with us, and they're great, and they raise our children that aren't their biological children, and we both have now, kids with them, and it's great. So now we're on the same life track again, and we have turned 30, and I know that I don't drink anymore. If I do, it's like one drink here or there. So like I honestly haven't been drunk. And it's probably been at least 2 years. It was a New Year's like 2 years ago. Not this New Year's, but the last New Year's was probably the last time I ever got drunk because that was a lot. And so I am on a vomit free since 23.
Vomit free since 23. That has got to be another shirt.
That is so fun.
and we're gonna stick by that. I'm not doing that again. And honestly, the roughest new challenge has been family drama with Simon's mom, and then my health, figuring that out. And Courtney, I know what your biggest struggle has been since 30.
Yeah, definitely my daughter. She has so she has ADHD from me and from her dad, and hers presents very differently than mine does, but very similarly to her dad's. So learning how to parent that has been challenging for me because I don't want to like do too much for her, but at the same time, I know she's struggling. she's been to like 3 different schools at this point, and each one just like is not hitting the mark for her. They're just not meeting her needs. And I worked in the public school system for 4 years. My mom's a public school educator.
What did
So I
you
know what
school?
I was a special ed paraprofessional, and my mom's a special ed teacher. And so I know what is supposed to happen, but what's supposed to happen is not what's happening for her. And I advocate for her, and it's still just not, it's not happening.
Gotten worse, honestly. I feel like, despite all of the things you've put into place for the school and like have worked out with the school, I feel like their way of handling it has progressively gotten worse.
Yeah. So Ava, if she has behavioral problems at school, they have a certain way they're supposed to handle it, but it's like they're sick of dealing with it. So their solution is they called Child Protective Services because she had a bruise on her arm. And the bruise on her arm was like, had been there for like a week when they called CPS. And what the crazy part is that, I mean, she's always got bruises. She's a child.
Every kid has bruises.
Thing 3 has them all up in her leg.
Like, right. And she's very pale, so am I. And so they show up, and so, I mean, they interrogated her, and they were like, Ava, what is this from? What is this from? What is this from? And it was like bruises on her shin, her kneecap, like obviously running into things. And so she told the story. She said, well, I was, with my ginging, which is my mom, and she sat on my mom's face. And so my mom went like pushed up to like get her off of her
because she has a baby on her stomach too.
Yeah. And Ava fell onto my son Hudson's baby toy, and it left a bruise on her arm. That's all that happened.
Right.
So I didn't think anything of it. And then I'm sitting here, and I just get this knock on the door, and I open the door, and this woman's like, I'm from Fulton County Child Protective Services, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what's happening? I was like, absolutely do not.
Your heart just dropped.
And yeah, I had no idea what had happened. So she told me this whole story. She comes in my house. She interrogates me. She was really nice. Don't get me wrong. She was doing her job, but
sure. But
she interrogates
real quick. One question. Sorry. Yeah. So was this all the same day? Like Ava's there getting interrogated and you have no idea, and then the same day someone shows up at your house?
Yeah, within like an hour of them reporting it. She was on the school bus because I had to go pick her up from the bus while the lady was there. I was like, okay, I need to go get her off the bus. Like she won't walk home by herself. So I went to go get her and came back. So then she made me go sit outside while she talked to Ava. Then she made me go pick my son up from daycare. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to be working this whole time. I was working from home. So I go pick him up. They had to take pictures of him, take pictures of her, my entire house. I had to write down like references of people to call to like vouch for my parenting. Like it was a mess. She wasn't allowed to be alone with my mom for 45 days. It was like this whole huge thing over such a small thing. And I just felt that it was because she was having behavioral issues at school. And so I had made
that wasn't the conclusion that you drew initially, right? Like this is later your conclusion, or is this like what you thought as it was happening? Like
pretty much the same day I kind of came to that conclusion because I told my mom, I said, I just find it funny that the whole school year Ava's had bruises. She fell off her hoverboard, broke her wrist.
That's right.
Stuff, plenty of things have happened to where you guys could have called Child Protective Services if you were concerned, but now she's having behavioral problems, and all of a sudden Child Protective Services are at my door.
Like they're just trying to get you to get her in a different school.
Correct. So this is the conclusion that I drew and I felt, but I was like, maybe I'm just being crazy, So I make a meeting with the principal and tell her how I feel. The principal is like, oh, I would not tolerate that, blah, 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 but it is anonymous, so I can't, tell you who reported it, but I know who reported it because Ava told me who was interrogating her. Well, then I go to volunteer at her school last week, and another parent was telling me that she had some concerns about the school. And I said, well, I'm just going to tell you my story and what happened to me and how Child Protective Services was called. And she looks at me and her face just looks like shocked. And she goes, oh, they called Child Protective Services on me too.
What the fuck?
And I was, and her son is in Ava's class and also has an IEP and also probably has had behavioral issues. And it was the same person that called on them.
She doesn't want to have to deal with anybody that has different needs.
That's what it sounds like.
That's
and the
messed.
Saddest part is of the whole thing is the woman is like the special ed, like the head of special ed at Ava's school.
Can't handle it.
Can you guys like you two parents? I mean, I'm sure there's other parents this has happened to as well. Can you band together and do something to like get this teacher.
So that's kind of my plan. I am going to get Ava out of that school, number one, because who knows how long that would take. Getting teachers, especially if they've been somewhere for a while, out of a school is very difficult.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But and there's a teacher shortage right now, so they're taking anybody.
Sure.
But I think I found an alternative school for Ava that I've got to get her into. But I am going to talk to this mom and see if she can ask some other moms, because it's just funny to me that two kids in the same class who both happen to have IEPs have had CPS called on them, and neither one of us were found to have any kind of neglect towards our children after the investigation was over.
Right. Yeah, that's a pattern emerging.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, and it's just so many adults. A coworker of mine put it this way: there's so many adults in Ava's life that are not family that are failing her, and it's really sad because her family loves her and supports her and knows she's Ava and she's different, but we love her for who she is. She's very talented in a lot of ways. She just has extra needs in certain areas of her life, and these people are just painting it in a negative way when it doesn't have to be painted in a negative way. And it's this constant like negativity. We put her in counseling, and the therapist was awful. She was like immediately just immediately jumping down Ava's throat. And I was like, man, like get to know her first before you do this.
Okay. Sorry, I just have so many feelings. Like, maybe you'll explain, maybe you won't, but even if Ava was doing something that the therapist thought she needed to like learn from, there are ways to talk to children and not shame them.
Yeah. Yeah. Ava has a 5-year-old friend in our neighborhood that I am in support of their relationship. She comes over all the time. It's no big deal. Ava is 9. I am supervising it. It's not like it's whatever. If Ava started talking about conversations she didn't need to from a 9 to a 5-year-old, I would stop it.
Yeah.
But the therapist tells her, you're too old to be playing with a 5-year-old. That's inappropriate.
Oh my.
And then tells her, you're too old for this. Babies do that. And then Ava's chewing gum and she comes out and it's like, can you come in here and get this gum out of her mouth? It's very distracting.
Who is
and
this
I'm like,
person?
all right.
Did you leave a review online?
I have not yet, but I did cancel our appointment and tell them why. And she tried to call me, but I was at work and I was like, I really have no interest in talking to you. I'm good.
Yeah, because that's not how you work. She shouldn't even be a child therapist.
So,
exactly.
All right. So your experience is that you have a child that has special needs of sorts that you're trying to work on. These are the hoops you keep getting thrown to, and you're having a hard time getting the general public to, one, accept, and two, let her be her and figure out, how to let her grow. She's not having a great experience.
Yeah. And so I'm doing like everything I can to research and learn because I'm learning too. I want her to be herself. I don't want her to feel like she has to conform who she is just because everyone else is a certain way.
Oh, that's what I was going to say to you earlier. I was kind of saying like I learned that from Scott and Melissa watching them with Ethan and Ivy as they were growing up. But like, and I feel like I see you doing that, just supporting her and being her. But I feel like one of the things I learned from them was as long as the most important thing that a child needs to know is that they're loved and accepted. And so I feel like I see that you're doing that as a mother.
Well, I appreciate that. That's what I'm trying to do.
That's her favorite compliment.
She's not really accepted by kids her age per se. Like older kids get along with her well and younger kids get along with her well. And then the kids her age that have known her whole life, like Sam's daughter and my other friend's daughter, but they don't understand. Like she's just different. She's unique. And whatever mechanism makes you embarrassed, she doesn't have that. Like she just is unapologetically herself. She's living her best life. At school dances, she's dancing to her heart's content. And then on the flip side, she's throwing tantrums and not caring that people are watching her throw tantrums. So I just want to get her in a more accepting environment to where they're working to help her get over those things without shaming her about it.
Right.
It's coping mechanisms.
So I think it's unfortunate that the public school isn't offering anything like that, but I have found a private school that I think we're going to work to get her into. That's their whole
very
mission.
Unfortunate because, like you said, she had it. What's that? It's the IED, right?
An IEP. IEP.
Oh,
An
yeah.
IED would be an explosive, so we definitely don't want.
Yeah, don't give her that.
Embarrassing.
So how did it make you feel as a parent that this is the struggle that you're going through? Because I feel like you're obviously not the only one that has a child that needs some extra assistance, and it's probably not going great for them at all times either.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me sad because for me, I'm fortunate enough that I have people around me to help me, like my mom, who is very educated and has resources and can help me research.
And just as
And I have a
patient.
background, right, and I have a background in education, so I kind of know the hoops I need to, the appropriate things I need to do. So to the fact that I still haven't gotten the help that I need when I know how to advocate for my child is really
Oh.
unfortunate because there's probably plenty of children who are suffering who their parents just don't know how to advocate for their kids.
100%. That being said, what would you say, like maybe your top 3 things that you could do to advocate for your child that maybe an average person might not know?
Honestly, I would say get an advocate for your child. You can find people who do it on a volunteer basis. My mom is a child advocate when she needs to be. So you can get an advocate to where they're educated on the process and they'll speak up in IEP meetings for you because a lot of times when you're in these IEP meetings, they're throwing a lot of terms out at you that you may not understand. And so having an advocate with you is someone who is educated in special education and the terms and will help you advocate for what you need. So that
That's
would be my biggest
amazing.
suggestion.
I would imagine there's a lot of emotions in those meetings too, and maybe you might not know
Yeah.
how to respond.
Mm-hmm.
But
You kind of, because I've had some meetings and you kind of like get stonewall because you're like, whoa, I don't know what you're
what's
saying
happening?
to me.
And
this is so much.
a lot of times they don't want to give you extra accommodations because it's extra work. So
Mhm.
when your child requires the next level of service, they have to do data, they have to do extra paperwork, and then they've got 30 kids in their class at this point. So it is hard. They are set
Literally
up
losing
for,
kids in the system.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We have too many kids, not enough teachers. I mean, it's I could go on and on and on
Yeah.
about the issues in public school.
I had no idea you could hire an advocate. Where do you find one? And
How much?
yeah.
To be honest, I think you can find them on volunteer basis.
So-
What else would you?
Yeah, that's tip number 1.
Yeah.
Just listen to your children. Some kids are nonverbal, but they're still communicating. So I've worked with severe kids, and you see parents who come in and advocate for their kids who are nonverbal. You still are listening to your kids and what they need, and remember that you know your kid best. So a lot of times the education system may try to make you feel like they know your kid better because they spend so much time with them, but you know your kid. You've been there with them since birth.
Right.
So don't let them convince you that they know your kid better because they'll try to say, oh, well, Ava doesn't do that at school, or I don't really agree that that's how this is. And I'm like, okay, well, this is how it is. Like, one accommodation she has is just take tests at optimal time of day. And they tried to act like mornings were Ava's optimal time of day. And I said, absolutely not.
Got you.
I was like, they're like, in my experience, I said, that's great. Ava is just because that's when they wanted her to test because that's when
Yeah.
everyone else was testing.
Mhm.
So you just have to know your kid, not let them convince you that they know your kid better than you because they try
Trust
to
that
act
you
like
know
they
your kid.
They're just working with their schedule though and trying to make it sound accommodating.
right. And then
Wow.
just also just be confident when you say anything. Don't let them scare you because I'm not saying that the whole American education system is out to get you. That's not what I mean.
Oh, they're
but
scary.
but it is intimidating.
Mhm.
It does make you feel, especially as a young mom. I was 21 when I had her, so I am younger than most moms of parents in her grade.
Right.
So, and I've got a bunch of tattoos and purple hair, and so I definitely know that they probably think certain preconceived notions about me until I start talking to them. But just be confident about it. I'm not going to let them convince me that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
No, I legit am having to deal with like school trauma because of one, when I was pregnant in high school, like the teachers and the administrators all got real mean and like kept trying to kick me out of school. And so that was traumatizing apparently. And then 2, when thing 1 starts school and I'm obviously the youngest mom, and they were mean to me. I got mean looks. I would get talked down to. Like and it's just like even now, I still will not go into a school by myself. Like Simon has to come with me or Andrew has to come in with me. Like I won't go in by myself.
Oh, no. That's definitely a trauma. Speaking of traumas. And I wanted to ask a question earlier and I didn't get the chance. Just, I don't mean to circle back, but have you seen how this experience has affected Ava in a negative way? Like, I feel like being interrogated at school has got to put some weird thoughts in her mind. Did they lead her to believe, or they try to gaslight her to believe that she'd been hurt?
I really am not sure the full conversation. She is not great at like relaying information to me from school. She like doesn't even like to talk about school, but she basically the only effect I've seen it have on her is that like it definitely upset her that she couldn't be with my mom. And then because my mom's like her best friend. And then she was really just angry because she's actually really mature for her age when it comes to like how she perceives things. And she was mad. She was like, my grandmother would never hurt me. I told them she would never hurt me, and they didn't believe me, and they did all of this because she specifically told them it was an accident.
One of the top things that you said to do was to listen to your child. I love that you just said that, and knowing that she might have some feelings of like, why wouldn't they believe me? Why wouldn't they just listen to me? And I can't see my grandma, but she does have you in her corner and you do listen to her. So that's pretty commendable.
Just to play devil's advocate, though, we do see teachers. I have a lot of teacher friends that are on my social media, and I see a lot of times them posting about how they have to advocate for children often because they don't have parents that do. So what is the flip chance that the teachers that are doing this are doing it because they legitimately fear that something is going on? Like, how would you say that they could juggle that appropriately?
Think that I just tried to put myself in that educator's shoes, and what would I have done if I saw a kid with a bruise on their arm? I would have taken some sort of documentation of it, but I wouldn't have immediately jumped to abuse because abuse isn't a one-time thing. And I can keep a close eye on this child, and if it becomes a recurring pattern, then obviously I'm going to report it. Or you could even ask the kid, hey, is everything okay at home? Like, how did that happen? And when she said it was an accident, let it go. But if it recurs again, we have a problem.
That is now a pattern. Yeah, that's very valid.
Now it is what it is. I think that I would rather them report people, I will definitely say, than not, and save kids that are in real situations. So I'm not saying that CPS shouldn't exist, but I have had children who were really abused, and I reported them to CPS and nothing got done. They showed up, they looked, oh, everything's fine. The kid was not fine. So
you've had to hospitalize children before.
My mom has been literally with kids who are in the hospital because they were abused, and they still returned back to that house. So it's like
bad, because I'm like, how are so many kids like born into these families, and then here I am, like, I just want a little child to give my love to, and like, it makes me so mad. I don't mean to make it about me, but
no, I mean it's definitely not fair.
Yeah, life's not fair though.
It's definitely not fair. But a lot of these kids were in foster care that I was with, because their parents couldn't handle. They had severe special needs. But I don't want people to think that I'm saying that all public schools are bad. Ava has had an experience with an amazing teacher that I wish we never would have lost. She moved to a different school than we moved. She loved Ava. She reached out to us after Ava wasn't even her student anymore to check on her. She sent me positive things about Ava constantly. I could message her right now and she would immediately respond to me because she cared that much. And so when I go into any meetings about Ava, I use that teacher as an example to tell them that this is the standard that I'm putting everyone at, because it's possible.
Yes.
If she could care that much for my daughter and all her other kids, don't get me wrong, it wasn't just my daughter.
Right. Of course.
Why can't everyone else do that? She also had her own children. She's at her own children's events. I see her post on Facebook all the time at her kids' events. she was also a great mom. So it's like, don't tell me you can't juggle both. Don't tell me you can't find the good in my child. The humor, she's hilarious. Like, she's very talented.
Because anytime you hear from the school daily, it is negative, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it's always negative until I went up and had a meeting with the principal, and then all of a sudden I got an email about how great Ava was. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. No, all of that is so interesting. So I actually went to I went to college a few different times in my life. I've got my associates, but when I was in my late 20s, I went to be a teacher. Well, what I really wanted to be was a school psychologist. But in Texas, you have to be a teacher for 3 years before you can actually practice in the schools. Then you have to go get your master's, obviously. Anyway, so I said, okay, fine, I'll do the thing to be a teacher. And I made it through the whole thing. I literally dropped out of my last semester. There was a lot going in my life. Like, I was working like 80 hours a week. I was going to school full time. And I also was going through divorce. So I just felt like I couldn't keep up. So my very last semester, I did drop out. But my point is, throughout all my practicums and everything, I feel like I really learned a couple things just to kind of like take up for teachers. Kind of like you were saying, they're not all bad. I think the school system can be broken to where teacher burnout is real. Because, and you're also, it's really hard to teach to the kid when that's what you're taught to do in school, is to teach to the child, when all of these like federal laws are being passed for tests that have to be passed. And so then you start teaching to the test, because it just, if that makes sense, I think that teachers have it really hard.
Yeah. No, I definitely 100% agree. And I'm like trying to get back into education. Like, my husband was even just like, are you sure you want to do that? Everyone I've talked to has said they are miserable right now. I am a unique case because I want to specifically work with special education. So I don't have to deal with what people have to deal with in general education.
What if you're able to get your license, like doing this out of your own home and, making it something that is
like being a child advocate out of her home?
No, like being a special ed teacher, but like out of her home, because this is becoming a popular trend where teachers are starting to make their home a place of education for homeschooling and stuff.
I don't think I would want to have it come into my home, but I definitely want to work for the school I worked for before was an all special needs school, and I definitely want to stay in that bubble of the world. It's nice having only special needs kids around. It's just no one's judging each other because they're all special in their own way, and everybody, like, it doesn't look odd. If that makes sense. Like, I remember in high school, the special ed kids were like hidden. Like, I never hardly saw the severe ones. You saw the like mild, like level 1 autism. Like, you saw the mild kids, and they would be at like lunch with you and stuff. But the severe kids who are tube fed and who are nonverbal, they were like tucked away, and I never saw them. That's sad in itself, but I want to work at a school where they're just a part of everything and they're included. And so that's why I like the all special needs schools. That's the population. They all are who they are, and they get to be who they are. So I definitely want to go back into that. And you don't have to deal with like these kids nowadays. Like, I see all these posts about like high school kids, just how awful they are to their teachers and just like horrible stuff they're doing. And you don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow, this has been enlightening. I didn't realize that you had such an education background.
Because of different life things that have occurred, I haven't finished school yet. So that is where I'm headed. I'm going to have to get my degree in something else and then do the TAP program. So you have to like work in a school while you're getting your certificate, because I just can't student teach. So that's another huge issue, is like, I can't take a semester off of working to student teach.
Right.
So like, I don't know who can afford that. So unless you go to college like at 18, you go through till you're like 21 or 23 or whatever you are when you graduate, you don't stop, you get your degree, you become a teacher, you're living off of student loans or your parents' money or whatever. It's just not feasible. It's hard to become a teacher if you're living a normal life.
And it's not even worth it economically.
No, that was kind of the reason why I was like, at the end of the semester, I was having such a hard time, not just keeping up with everything in my life. And I'm like, what am I doing? This is, kind of like a pathway to get where I want, but I don't want to teach. And I was good at it. It was a lot and it is hard. So what's your plan then? You said the TAP program. Can you explain about that a little?
Yeah, so you basically start working as a teacher under a provisional license because you have a bachelor's degree in something else, but you've passed all of the GACE exams. So I've already taken the exams and passed them. So you work on a provisional license, and then you have to also, I believe, commit to working at that particular school for 5 years.
Holy
But
smokes.
you do a certification process while you're working. So you're working as a teacher, you're getting paid as a teacher while you're getting your certificate, your official teaching license.
Well, that sounds doable.
Yeah. So that's the game plan. The school doesn't start until October. I was hoping to get it done this summer, but they don't have another I'm going to Western Governors University, and it's online and it's self-paced, and so I can knock out 10 classes real quick if I want to. You have to study, do the assignments, and take tests virtually.
Nice. Okay. So maybe to wrap up, how would you say having Sam in your life has helped you on the path that you're on?
I think that for me, having her there for me, I guess this is a selfish one, but no matter what it was in my life, she's always been there for me. And knowing that I always have that person that even if I do something really stupid, she's not going to quit being my friend.
Yes. That is so important.
It's always been good, because there's been plenty of times where I've done some very dumb things that I shouldn't have done, and she saw me doing it and knew I shouldn't be doing it and still was my friend. And so I don't ever have to worry about being alone in life, because I know that I could screw this all up and she's still going to be my friend. And so knowing that, and I can tell her anything and she doesn't judge me. We've talked about this before, when you're in a marriage or any type of relationship and you complain, a lot of times people then paint this negative picture of your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk crap about my husband sometimes.
And so, they end up giving you advice off of, oh, your husband must be a shit human, you need to leave them, this and that.
Sometimes I just want to talk crap about my husband because we live together and he's getting on my nerves. I don't mean he's a bad human. I don't mean that we're going to get divorced. I don't mean any of these things. But I'll vent to her, she'll vent to me, and then I still love Simon, she still loves Doug.
I love that.
Yeah, because I think we definitely learned in earlier relationships that what you say to other people starts factoring in how they influence you on that person. And I don't think it would have changed the path of any of our other significant others at all, because I think what was supposed to happen has happened. But
I think that I'm glad things ended the way, I'm glad things ended. But I almost think that had I not had so much outside influence, maybe I would have figured it out on my own sooner.
Oh, interesting.
You think so? Do you feel like it made you go into defense mode so much that
Yeah. I think I defended him so much that I couldn't backtrack, because I've defended him to so many people, and I'm okay, but now if I leave him, everyone's gonna be told you so, and I know I've got to deal with that,
That's hard.
Yeah. Living with Courtney was an experience that I think I needed, because I was very hot-headed, very quick to nope, we need things my way, we need them done this way right now, I need clean, and just zero tolerance for anything. And so seeing her look at me and be like, all right, the milk just got spilt. Who's dying? I love that.
It reminds me of the whole people are more important than things.
And Simon's honestly an extension kind of Courtney.
I love that.
He's also the same. If I start to get bent out of shape over cereal getting spilt all over the floor or something, it's okay, but who's dying? We can just clean it up. It's no big deal. And so I've always been able to have Courtney's voice being, but what's the worst thing that's going to happen?
You just said something about Simon being a lot like her, more calm, helping you level-headed ways. Do you feel like having her in your life has helped you break the pattern of being with people who maybe aren't what you need,
I will say that we both married a person that is the extension of each other. Like, I would say that Doug is very much so like me in many aspects. And I would say Simon's very much like Courtney in many aspects. And so it's really funny that I think in a way we did kind of marry each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. I think it is funny. But to be fair, if we had the correct anatomy, we would probably have married each other. So that's
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need the dick.
But but no, like, yeah, I think it's interesting how people can come into our lives, and the ones that stay through all of the stupid things, like you said, Courtney, they can teach us a lot about ourselves. And I feel like you've probably learned about yourself.
I think
and that brought you to Simon in a different way.
We spread like the best parts of us probably into each other.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely. And another thing is like when you go through big life changes, you like kind of just naturally lose people in your life.
Yeah.
Like when you get married, when you have kids, like just any big change in your life, just naturally some people fall off. And like we have never just stopped talking to one another because of that. Like I have a friend who was going out and drinking with me a lot, but when I stopped going out and drinking, she kind of just stopped talking to me, and it sort of hurt my feelings. But I was like, meh, I don't need that, you know. But Sam's still my friend.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, we will go like weeks without talking recently because now we both haven't.
But that's not the same as just losing a friend and like growing
up. Oh,
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah. I've dwindled my friend group down to where it's just people who love me, not drunk me.
Right.
If that makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just people in general who are accepting of people in general. Like it's like your friend group now isn't like I'm only friends with people who don't have kids, or I'm only friends with people who think this very narrow-minded way. Like everyone in the friend group would accept anyone into the friend group, if that makes sense.
That takes me back to our Friends in Your 30s episode, Making Friends in Your 30s, because it makes me think about how, like, I really have tried hard to curate the people that I keep around me. And I would say that's one of the biggest things I do look for is people who are accepting and non-judgmental.
Like, she's had friends that, like, you had to be a certain attractiveness and you had to do certain activities or you could not be friends. Like you had to meet these criterias. And I was like, that's just wild.
Yeah. Well, that's part of maturing too, is like knowing like who is okay to let go of. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I spend my time with like-minded people. I'm not saying that I just am. I don't want to surround myself with a bunch of people who think the polar opposite of me, because that's not going to be productive.
It makes you feel like you're editing yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I respect everybody's beliefs 100%. But if I don't go to church, I'm not religious at all. So I am not going to choose a friend who that is their passion in life, because it just wouldn't work, because that is their whole like fiber of being. Like I'm not ever going to agree with it. You're never going to convince me. There's nothing you can do to convince me, so there'd be no point. But I respect you and I love that for you, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, it's really hard.
That makes sense.
Growing up the way I did in the religion that I did, like literally that was my identity. And I wanted other people to like you're right. I couldn't have real friendships without trying to, I hope one day they can think and feel the way that have what I have. I'm definitely agnostic now, but I remember when I'm going to tell you the story, I'll keep it short. But when I went on a mission for the Mormon church and I was 22, 21, and I remember being in the training center and they encouraged us to reach out to just somebody that we cared about, that I would wish believed in Jesus Christ the way that I did at that time. And so I wrote this really long, like 2-page legal letter. And I sent a Book of Mormon to my friend and her family, and I never heard from her again. No, I mean, kind of. Like, we're friends on Facebook now, but I regret that so much.
Have you ever apologized or been like, man,
I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to. Actually, we're going to talk to her brother soon.
Oh.
Anyway, but
we lost Courtney's audio again. Here's what we're getting at. Having a very solid friendship in your life is very important, and it can shape who we are.
The quote that stuck with me, where it's like, look around you. If you're the smartest person in the room, or if you're the most spiritual, or the most whatever it is that you're trying to attain, you're probably in the wrong group.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear her now.
I think Sam muted me so that I would shut up, and now she's like, "Oh, sorry, I think we've lost Courtney's audio."
Oh no! Like, there's some static.
Lord,
I feel like there was something you were trying.
You were
to
trying
say.
to say something before it like cut out your voice.
I don't remember what I was saying though. It was I was laughing because I said if somebody mailed me a Book of Mormon, I think I would die. It was so funny.
Right?
It's a good idea. I think I'm gonna start mailing people the Book of Mormon.
People who you don't like and are like, would you please leave me alone? Here's the Book of Mormon.
Do you happen to have any spare pamphlets left that I can add?
So funny.
I think you can sign the Jehovah's Witnesses up to come to people's houses too.
Are
I
you
think that's a
serious?
thing.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Oh, I think that my son has awoken. So
Okay.
the moral of the story, enjoy your 20s, mature in your 30s, and find you a best friend.
There you go.
Yes!
I love
That
it.
couldn't have said it better. Nicely said, Courtney. And reach out to Courtney if you guys need some help navigating schools and parenting.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you
All
so much.
right. Love you.
I'm loving you too.
I love you. I love you too, Melissa.
Oh my god.
No, she's mine.
No. I really want Courtney's approval.
Her friend pocket is full. She's not taking applications.
That's rude. Melissa, I'll message you privately.
Thank you. Wink, wink.
You did just flash her.
Connect with us on Facebook or Instagram to stay up to date on future episodes. If you liked what you heard today, write us a review.